Let's start off with Nigeria, where the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on Thursday, 14th of March, dragged the former Kogi State Governor, Yahaya Bello, to court over alleged involvement in 84 billion naira money laundering offences. The former governor was charged alongside his nephew, Ali Bello, Dauda, Sulaiman, and Abdulsalam, Hudu. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is prosecuting the quartet on an amended 17-count charge of money laundering and also breach of trust and misappropriation of funds to the tune of over 84 billion naira before Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court, Maitama, Abuja. And of course, joining me on the program at this time to shed more light on this is Michael Lanre, also known as MLT. Now, he's a political analyst joining from the United Kingdom. Thank you for your time. All right, Michael, let's start off with what you think about the allegation, of the EFCC against the former governor. Some have, dubbed it a political witch hunt, while some are saying maybe, the law should just be allowed to play its course. What's your take on this particular allegation by the EFCC? Okay, Michael, what do you make of the allegation of the EFCC on the former governor of Kogi State?
What do I make? First is good evening, Dapo, and good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
For me, it is not unexpected. It is not unexpected, but it's two wrongs don't make a right. That's how it started. For the former governor, it is obvious that he has a lot to answer. We knew how he ran the state, and he went on a purple goose or purple whales dream of wanting to be a governor. For lack of other adjective, that's why I use those words. And that he wanted to be the president of Nigeria. And we knew all the things he did, all the shenanigans, and how funds were wasted. Then you ask yourself, a state like Kogi, where there is little or no presence of government, where the state capital looks not even like a glorified village, and then where people were not being paid, where they couldn't stop verification and verification upon verification, and someone decided to say he wanted to be president. So you see that EFCC will probably chase, EFCC will come because where are the funds coming from? But now, for me, the EFCC, how good is that case too? Because already the EFCC said 84 billion, 100 billion, they have not been able to quantify or ascertain what the charges are. That's another thing where I have issue with EFCC. And we see that the present governor, we probably will not want to do anything about it because you know how he emerged and how he came on board. And then we even know one of the named accused, who is the nephew of the former governor, is now presently the chief of staff. So we see the way these things are. The Nigerian populace need to understand that we need to learn how to hold our past leaders and our present leaders. We need to start asking them questions. We need to hold them accountable for their actions.
But this seems to appear like some sort of pattern, by the commission itself, where public office holders, after they're done with their time in office, they're always invited, for questioning as regards some sort of allegation. And some have seen this as more of a routine than the actual reason or motive behind such invitation or allegations. And some have even gone as far as questioning if at all anything tangible usually comes out of many of these allegations and invitations. So I'd like to know your take.
It was what I was saying. See, the EFCC They believe me, sorry to say, but I know there are few professionals still left in the EFCC, but the
There
EFCC
are
conduct
few
has not been
professionals.
professional at all. Few professional left. Believe me, few. I have I can own up to that. There are few professionals. We've all seen it.
Few professionals. Wow, that's
Yes. Yeah, yes.
okay.
That's what look. That's what
Sorry,
you're
sorry
professional.
for
Look.
dwelling on this. On a scale of
Yeah.
1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how
Yeah.
professional do you think they are?
I think they are not below. They are not above 3 or 3.5 maximum. Yes, and I'll tell you that. You see,
Okay, please explain
in
why
a
you think
sane,
so.
yeah, I will explain. In a sane environment, right? You don't. You've seen the FBI, you've seen the MI6, you've seen Scotland Yard do investigations. They don't arrest or they don't go for arrest before investigation. They investigate before they make arrest or before they go in with warrant and try to make arrest. But in the case of the Nigerian EFCC, they make arrests first before they investigate. That is it. That is totally unprofessional. And that is what thwarts their cases. Look, at times they have good cases, but it boils down to the fact that a lot of government parastatal, a lot of government agencies are doing the same thing. EFCC wants to be the first to actually call Yahaya Bello or past public office holders or call them for questioning. They wouldn't want ICPC to call first. So because of that, they jump into and they do like you say in the local parlance, with them say, without doing proper investigation, without dotting their I's and crossing their T's. So when they bring this case out, they rely basically on media, both the conventional media and the social media, to help sell their cases. And their case is not at high. So any person, any good lawyer or any smart person to just get these cases started. And that is where they have the problem. And that is why it looked like when it's looking like a routine, like you said, that as soon as every public office holder leaves the office, they call them for questioning, which I feel it should be done because we see we have the code of conduct, which every public office holder swear, they declare their asset and all that. When they are leaving, they should declare if there is a spike or there's an exponential increment in what they had, they should come and explain. And you see, but these guys don't do it. They want to make the headline, they want to make all these fancy headlines and all that. And after all these headlines, what is their conviction rate? If the Nigerian EFCC is very professional, if they're actually scoring more than the 3.5, like I said, we will have seen a high conviction rate. What is the conviction rate of BSC? Dapo? Let's ask ourselves this question. What is the conviction rate? Conviction rate is far less than 30%.
Mm. All right.
Because they just want to rely on the media.
I mean, those are pretty weighty. But let's look at the response, purported response by the Kogi State government through a statement issued by the Commissioner for Information in Kogi State, Kingsley Fanwo. We actually made attempts to get him on the program, to talk about this. But last minute, he told us that they're in a meeting with the governor, and hopefully, we hope they are done on time, so he can join us on the program to, of course, explain, if at all, shed more light on their stance on this issue. Now, according to a statement released on some media platforms, he said, "We believe that the ignoble agenda is unknown to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu." That's part of what is on the statement. "Who trusted those people with power with the hope that they will use it judiciously for the greatness of the nation. Unfortunately, they have decided to use the privileges given to them as tools for political vendetta." The statement went further to say the amended charges in which the name of the former Governor Bello was mentioned are false, frivolous, and fictitious, and far from the truth. They are cooked up charges that signpost their desperation to call a dog a bad name in order to hang it. Let me stop here. What do you make of this purported statement by the Kogi State government through the Commissioner for Information?
What do we expect from someone like Kingsley Fanwo? And just a quick one. I'm not expecting Kingsley Fanwo to join us. And if you ever think he's going to join us on issues like this, that we forget it, he's never going to join.
Well, we've had him on the
Kingsley
program
Fanwo is never
before.
going. No matter the number of times you invite him, there's going to be a few minutes excuses. He's never going to join you on issues that pertain to the former governor and all that, because they all are still scared of the former governor. He was, and he's still that white lion. So they still live in the jungle, and it still work there. So as we're saying, what do you expect to come from someone like Kingsley Kwan? He was in the kitchen cabinet of Governor Yahaya Bello during his days as a governor. Stefan was there for like 7 years or close to 7 years as from DG Media to a commissioner of information. So he was in the kitchen cabinet, and presently is in the kitchen cabinet. And you expect, I know, if you remember when these cases were first talked about like a month ago, Kingsley Fowler first released a statement, a lengthy and watery statement, when he said that the allegations were leveled against the former governor Yahaya Bello were fraud that happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Prior to prior to his administration, that happened in 2015. But in the recent press release, is now a vision and nothing is missing. The first one, something was missing, but was before Governor Yahaya Bello. But the present one, nothing is missing, but it's just the witch hunt. What does this tell you? From the same evangelist, from the same Mr. Evangelist giving you a gospel, a double mouth. So what do you expect from someone like that? Integrity is gone, and everybody lacks integrity. And these guys, they don't understand what governance is. Governance is actually one of the easiest things, and at the same time, a hard thing to do. There's a lot of gray area in governance, but these guys don't want to study the gray areas in governance or believe in governance is something that they can push through when you have the right people, when you have the right personnel doing the right thing, and not doing what will I call it, when you don't just pick up people because they are loyal, when you pick up professionals that will do the work the way the work should be done. So these guys just say all these things, and they feel that Kogite and Nigerians are stupid. They have told Kogite and told Nigerians that these funds were missing, but they were missing in 2015 before the advent of the administration of Governor Yahaya Bello. But all of a sudden is a wish hunt. And it is funny how APC governors, or in APC state, APC control states, you see when everything happens, they tell you, straight up, they call the name of the president, or why is the president doing it? The EFCC is enacted by the law of the land to do something. Are you saying the president is above, or are you saying the president should override the law of the law that enacted the EFCC to investigate anybody that they feel are committed financial crime? The answer is no. So why mentioning President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? If I were President Bola Ahmed Tinubu or the handlers of President Ahmed Tinubu, we release a statement letting them know that anybody that is found wanting should be investigated. This boils down to where Nigeria was. You see, at times like this, someone like me, I meet former President Musa Yar'Adua when he was begging the National Assembly to take away the immunity of executive governor, president, vice president, governors, and deputy governors. Because if they're taking that away, maybe things will have been able to be done better, not when people leave offices,
anyway, that's a
because
conversation for another day, talking about whether immunity should exist for public office holders while they're in office. Some have said, well, that could work to some extent to ensure accountability, while some are also of the opinion that as an executive official, you could also have some powers to sort of frustrate that process. But I still want to stay on the statement, or the purported statement released to the press, by the state government. Now, part of it also went further to say that we have seen how low EFCC and its paymasters can go to pander to the political agenda of those afraid of the rising profile of Alhaji Yahaya Bello. And it went further to say that the government called on, of course, the president to specially probe this case. What is happening in Kogi State before the EFCC is pushed into being used by hired guns by political hawks who are acting on selfish and over ambitious script. Now, my question to you is this. Do you think that the EFCC is will I call it a tool in the hands of some playmasters who sort of wield it to their, will?
I wouldn't know, but since the super evangelist Fanwo is saying so, maybe he knows why he's saying that. Maybe he has used the FCC before, or maybe him and his principal, the former and the present principal, have used the FCC or using the FCC to enchant people, so he felt it is their time. And when people talk about rising profile, isn't it funny? Is Yahaya Bello the first governor Kogi State we ever had? Was it the first governor that purported to be a youth that had been? We had Donald Duke that was a young governor in 1999. That was not in his 40s, that was in his 30s when he became a governor in 1999. And he performed excellently well. Nobody is chasing him. We have a lot of people that were young and they did things in government. So where people keep saying, where is this phantom profile? Because it's funny, he had the profile that he's building and he could even get his state delegates to vote for him in the primaries of where he wasted Kogite money. These are the things they keep telling themselves. These guys are the problem that these public holders actually have. They're keeping cabin and people close to them. They lie to them and they make them do things they shouldn't do. Because where is the profile that this man has? A man that couldn't get more than 17 votes in the primaries. So where is the profile? Why are they lying to themselves? So the truth of the matter is, if this man actually thinks he hasn't done anything, he should go to the EFCC and stop hiding, as he even actually honored the invite of the EFCC. See, that's what I'm telling you, because the EFCC on its own had not positioned itself to be an organization, to be referred, an organization to be fed when they talk, or to be respected rather, not fed, to be respected. Now, if they position themselves well, then these people won't be sending all these watery, lengthy, and watery episodes. They should go and face. If they felt the governor has not done anything, they are in office. Yes, he has brought in. See, that's what I'm telling you. He has brought in a guy that was really indicted in the preliminary FCC report. In the case, he's now the chief of staff. If I were him, that is a good thing for me to clear the name. By now, we'll have had, in fact, I wouldn't wait for EFCC to call us. If I were him, if I were Ali Bello, what would I have done is that I would have told the governor, the present governor, Governor Ahmed Ododo, and tell them, hey, guys, let us call the Auditor General, let us call, and thank God, the present governor used to be, look, is a professional auditor. Audit this account and present it to EFCC. That is why I expect them to say, okay, look, Nigerians, look, they are insulting the former governor. This is the audited account of this is the audited account of the state for the past 15 years, and we are bringing it forward. And you evidence to match evidence, not this watery press statement from super evangelist Fanwo.
All right, now let's look at the case itself. Given the track record of cases by the EFCC, do you think this particular case would eventually see a conclusive end at the end of the day?
No, it won't. To be sincere,
Why is that?
I'll be surprised if it does.
But there's a new leadership in the EFCC right now.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The leadership is just there. What about the workforce? What about the structure? It won't. Look, like I'm telling you, it won't. And that is why the lack of super evangelist man was writing what he's writing, because they know what they use the FCC for. The FCC have not presented itself. We've seen the same set of people, this same leadership. They're not the one that got somebody that had the 40 billion, 44 billion, and the person is telling them it was a mistake. And this, have you heard anything about it? This leadership has come on board. We had the former EFCC boss that said his enemies or his people that were after him got him luxurious properties and luxury and exclusive property in Dubai because they want to smart his name. Have we heard anything about the case? Is this present leadership hasn't been on board for a while now? Have we heard anything? It's just the same thing. There's nothing that's going to happen. I wasn't expecting anything to happen though. So I'm not the expectant. If I get anything, if anything happen here, believe me, that's when I'll be surprised.
All right, now let's look at it on a broader perspective as regards the government spending or the spending by some government officials, while in office. Just this week alone, we've seen all of the drama happen within, the Senate as regards budget padding and the follow-up revelations that we have been seeing concerning allocations and water view. What does this reflect of, number one, accountability, prudence, and also priority setting, particularly on the part of leadership in Nigeria?
For me, it just boils down to kind of people we've elected now to hold political offices in Nigeria. Accountability is zero, prudency is zero, and in terms of priority is on minors. We major on the minors and we minus on the major in our nation. In a nation that is going through a lot. We saw when the Senate, when this present present assembly came on board, we saw what they did when they said they want to buy vehicles. I had issues with the T-shirt vehicles they said they wanted, but if they said they needed the vehicles, what I expected them to have done was buy vehicles that are made in Nigeria, the Mechanos, okay, sorry, I don't want to mention names because I know, sorry, but we have not have vehicles that are being made in Nigeria, like four or three of them, three or four of them. Why didn't they buy them? Why didn't they invest the money? Why didn't they let this fund? If they need these vehicles and you need to buy new ones, you feel it is important. Why don't you invest such humongous amount in the Nigerian economy? But rather they went to borrow these funds and they took it and invested in entrepreneurs' economy. It shows you the level of people we have as leaders who really who can't think, who can barely think beyond the surface. All they want to see is just superficial and to do things because they feel they should do it. They don't really know what they are doing about it. And when you see the budget padding, it is not surprising for me. I'd had to discuss with some people and some friends why some were giving good reasoning, stuff like that happened. And we saw what Senator Ningi said. We saw what Senator Yayi, who is the chairman of the appropriation committee, said. Yes, Senator Yayi spoke well. He's eloquent, but does that negate the fact that what they did is wrong? What they did is wrong. We saw that the Senate president had some of his stuff, had some of the stuff done. We saw the humongous amount they budgeted for deep freezer. Funny enough, okay, you want to do deep freezer. Now, where is the electricity? Where is the power to power the deep freezer you're spending billions to buy? People have not asked her that. The people have not actually spoken to these things, and it just shows. But as the people, I've always told people that the people deserve the leaders they get. They are people, as Nigerians, we put a lot of burdens on our political or elected officers. Even before they become elected, we put a lot of burden on them. Immediately, anybody knows you have an ambition, you want to do something, the demand on you become high. Somebody's going to call you for birthday. Somebody's going to call you for a baby's birthday. Somebody's going to call
So
you for
are
hospital
you
bills.
saying
Somebody's going
that
to call you for school fees.
Nigerians, to a large extent, also enable leaders to be corrupt?
Yes, not just to a large, to like almost 80 to 85% extent.
80 to
We
85%.
85, yes.
That's huge.
And I can explain to you. I can explain to you why I say so.
Please explain.
I can explain to you. Okay, let's assume that that you want to run for an office. I know you can't. You are not running. But the day anybody feel had an inclination that okay, that wants to run for office, let's say for ordinary. Sorry, when I use the word ordinary, it is a very important post. I'm just trying to local government chairman, and maybe the local government chairman position is not going to be on until 2027, and they know that you just have an ambition as of January 2024. Believe me, you averagely spent in a month a minimum of 2 million naira. So when you do that, and the 2 million you are spending in a month is not for you, it's for frivolity, it's for people telling you leadership, call you all kind of names, telling you how they have to pay school fees, telling you how their children are in school, telling you how they have to do a child that is 3 years birthday, telling you how their wives or their spouses in the hospital, they make you pay these bills. And before you now go for the primaries, when you now go for the primaries, so you send average of 2 months on monthly basis for how many months? For 24, 36 months. And when you now go for primaries, you still have to take care of the delegates. And when general election comes, you see them tell you, it's just picking. Is it more now in the local balance? Now, grammar we go top with the money. Do you understand? You make you
I
spend
get you.
money,
I get
you
you
do all
totally.
that. So by the time you're done, maybe before you even contest for a local government chairman, like a tenure of 3 years or before then, you have spent close to 1 billion. Now, some money you borrow, some money you got. So where you get there, what do you want to do if the investment? If you invested 1 billion in a business, you know what the dividend to be. So when you get there, you want to reap your money. You want to make your money, make the excess, and not just make the excess, make the money to pay the what I call it, to pay the interest of what you borrowed, and you want to take more because you don't want to go back as local government chairman. Maybe then you're now thinking to be a state assembly or a house of rep, and you don't want to go borrow again. So you
Michael.
want to keep some. So if when Nigerians stop demanding from elected political office holders and let them do the work and demand good governance and good representation, then the corruption will stop or will
Okay.
reduce.
All right. Michael Lanre, thank you so much for your contribution on the program today.
Thank you.